Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Arnold Gordon Abel, Carl Theodore Alexander, Wayne Klaus Allen, Francis Howard Andresiak, Edward William Argy, Lloyd Dean Armour, Ronald Kazu Asada, John J. Bailey, Norman William Bates, Barry Howard Berger, Paul L. Berry, Lee Roy Burden, Kenneth Leon Blackman, Melford Keith Blakely, Robert Daniel Blay, Murray Lee Blocker, William Michael Bridgeford, Edwin Fay Brown, Thomas Frederick Bruck, Sam Burnell Jr., Cecil Euclid Callender, William Burr Cameron, Gordon Allen Campbell, Thomas Carpenter Jr., Donald Summanguit Carter, Juan Jose Cervantes, Robert Allen Clark, Willie James Cooper, Roger Edward Cooper, Willie James Cottrell, Bobby Dean Crawford, Herbert Charles Crosby, John Patrick Cullinan, Dave Cummings Jr., Kenneth Allen Dow, David Christopher Daly, Monty Rule DeVere, Richard Daniel Devine Jr., Henry John Dineski, Jerome William Ellenson, Sisypho Falafine, Clayton Allen Fannin, Blaine M. Ferguson, John Curtis Fitzwater, Herman Ray Fletcher, Paul Mark Phones, Michael Arthur Fontaine, William Wallace Ford, Douglas Oakley Ford, Terrence Dean J. Francis, William Francisco Jr., James Paul Golly, Peter F. Gerstenlauer, Thomas Alfred Gelly, Richard Gerald Gillum, Gordon L. Goins, Andre Armando R. Gomez, Joe Edward Grayson, Francis George Graziosi, Philip Lee Gregory, Garland Alex Griffin Jr., Lewis Daniel Grote, Paul Anthony Guida, Robert Paul Hain,
Lewis Stephen Hall, Charles Leon Hanselman, Harvey C. Harris, William Raymond Hartwell, Robert Gary Hayes, Gary Orville Hayden, Samuel James Helfenstein, John Leslie Henderson, Alex James Hernandez, David Harper Hirschberger, Jerry Thomas Hickey, Bernard George Hitro Jr., Raymond Dale Horner, Earl Pearson Hopper Jr., George Andrews Howes, Jerry Nelson Hughes, Robert Lee Hutchison, William Thomas Johnson, Norris Felton Johnson, Martin Raymond Johnson, Willie Donald Jones, Arthur Jordan, Dennis Floyd Cabarra, Jerry Wayne Kizia, Martin Douglas Klon, Joel Frederick Coaster, Roger John Cochtin, Stephen Paul Krug, Lamar Alvis Lawson, Anthony Joseph Lederer, James Gregory Lega, John Arthur Lehecka, Douglas James Lemiere, Robert Russell Lewis, Joe Henry Lilly, James Lospinuso, Neil Cooper McKay, David Carl Manning, Jose Adoro Manzanares, Jim Daniel Martinez, Michael Timothy McCormick, Harry Preston McFalls, David Earl McLaughlin, Benton Machoud, Robert Irvin Moore, James Mark Morgan, Stephen Ralph Mullins, Robert William Munsey, Glenn David Muss, William Bruce Offerdahl, Gerald Ray Olmsted, John Albert Ordner, Matthew John Pechatis, Jeffrey Perez, Tim Conrad Peterson, Robert Feister, Lloyd D. Pinkerton, Henry Lee Prather III, Darrell L. Price, Cornelius Hubert Ram, Douglas Leroy Ranshaw, Franklin Harrison Robe, Billy G. Riggins, Paul William Rumrill,
Jackie Lee Sawney, Stephen Warren Schmidt, Danny Gilbert Schwartz, Richard J. Seibert, Richard Wayne Shiver, Thomas Richard Sibin, Hugh Fred Spain, Arthur Roy Sprott, Jr., Curtis Robert Stocklin, Merritt Stoves III, Henry James Stuckey, Charles Delano Swartz, William Henry Swisher, Rudy Ronnie Taylor, Larry Earl Tennell, John William Thomas, Thomas Daniel Tighe, John Charles Tingley, Vincent Venuti Jr., Norman Lee Von Arans, Curtis Malroy Voss, Gray H. Wagner, John Thomas Webster, Daniel Lee Westly, Morris Craig Wheeler, Robert Wayne White, Alan D. Whitlock, Thaddeus E. Williams, Jr., Glenn Allen Ziegler, James Henry Zumbrun,